Well, so far I've decided that I'm not going to get too crazy with this sky. I kind of like the idea of a high ceiling, but I needed some sort of a guide. I needed the sky to have a little more strength because this will be very strong. So I thought maybe I'd put in this charcoal line, still going up at the sort of same angle as I was thinking before. But the transition being lower, I'm thinking of having sort of below this line to be varying hues of gray and values of gray, obviously, just to indicate some cloud. And then, above it, going with the feeling of a much higher, more distant cloud ceiling. Probably introducing some blues in there as well. Blue's a pretty color. So, yeah, we'll play with that. So I've dropped this on the easel because I'm getting glare from above and I like to look down at it then. As you can see, I went very quickly with my large, what is this? It's a flat number, what, 18? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, well, it's a brand I'm not familiar with. And laid everything very quickly in, and then started to organize things a bit with that brush. Then I moved to a number 10 round brush, and with that one I can more easily control my shapes. It's just easier to work with, and I'm beginning to mature the sky a little bit in individual shapes, in the unity of shapes, separation of shapes, highlights, lowlights. And knocking down a little bit the intensity of these colors. I've already mixed in a little yellow ochre in places. I've not gone straight ultramarine blue or straight cobalt blue in anything here. I've added a little bit of alizarin crimson in places, a little bit of yellow ochre in places, just to temper it a little bit, because as much as I like those colors, if I have those really intense colors up here, that's really going to compete with, with things down here. So I need to knock it down just a little, not a whole lot. It'll be pretty hard to compete with the intensity of the reds that I'm going to have on this shed anyway. But I wanted to make sure that, it's knocked down. I can always bring it back up. Values, chroma, I can always bring them back up later. I'm using a little bit of linseed oil in this guy so far. That way my painting, the paint surface will remain flatter, and it'll be easier to modify later if I have to. Probably won't have to, because I've added linseed oil. It's not going to be dry tomorrow at all, or tomorrow. Anyway, next time I get at it. So I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so that's it for now. We'll get back to you once I've got a little more design and provided a little more cohesiveness for this part of the sky. I'm not going to worry about the gray. These designs here, I'm not worried about that. I didn't make them as designs. All I did was introduce gray to outline my shapes. And after that, I also used actually linseed oil there. After that, I will go in and put, hopefully some interesting shapes in there. And then we come to this edge where one gray mass has to be married to the blue and purple area.